And my poor husband is just like completely traumatized by it all.
Oh, well,
Understand?
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, this has been a lot.
My
Uh,
goodness.
uh, and I'm assuming Ben and or Peter will join. But yeah, for anyone who's watching, welcome to another Run Wild with us. You can ask us anything. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder of Running Wild, which now consists of 4 imprints. And I'm here with some of our phantasmic editors right now. I'm here with Cecilia, who's one of our just absolutely fantastic editors and authors as well. And we're here to answer any old questions that you may have. It can be about anything, honestly. We're all pretty open. And if we decide that we don't want to answer a question, we'll tell you we're not answering that. But that hasn't happened yet.
I
We
don't think
haven't
it's
had
happened. I was just going to say that.
no.
I think we answer anything, just about
Yeah,
anything.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And we're very creative if it's something we don't really want to answer and we
We'll
but
pivot to something that
we'll
sort of answers it, but doesn't.
right? Yeah, basically. That's basically it. Um so we are here on Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And this is recorded and we do actually post it on our YouTube channel. So if you miss it and you're like, you know what, I want to check it out, just go ahead, go to the YouTube channel, check out the recording. And honestly, you can just go ahead and put any questions that you may have or comments in the YouTube channel because we do check it regularly. And we get notified whenever there's any kind of comment on the recording, and we'll respond to it in the following week. So I was just telling Cecilia that I've had the weirdest wild last week. So on Friday, I was on my way to the dermatologist, and I went to make a left onto the highway, and I remember thinking, oh, wow, I haven't seen a big yellow bus in ages. And then I woke up surrounded by EMTs, and it turned out I ran into literally a yellow school bus. Um, thank God nobody else was injured. I mean, seriously, because I can only imagine, but I can share, I'll share with you my I mean, I obviously I took pictures because it was like, oh my,
Yeah. Wow.
like, oh my God.
Oh my
uh
goodness. Wow.
but yeah, that's now my car is just trashed. I mean, it's a
Oh no.
2013 Mini Clubman. There's
Yeah.
no way, like, the value of it is not going to exceed the cost.
Mhm.
There's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the actual total value of it is like $3,400. There's no way that that's gonna, because I mean, it literally will not start. Like, that's the front
How
right now.
scary. I mean, how scary and awful.
Right? Yeah. And then this is, you can see, yeah, just another angle. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I'm so severely covered in, like, it hurts to laugh. I have so many uh bruises, and it's, and the doctors were like, honestly, you have a ton of bruising, you just have to basically, let it heal. But
Yeah. But no broken bones, no surgery. Wow.
no, but like my right side, like,
Mhm.
this was as of like 2 days ago, this is more black than blue now,
Oh my
and
God.
it's obvious that it's like way swollen compared to my left side. So it's been oh yeah, like, I've got all kinds of,
Oh
I don't
wow.
know if you can see it. Like, it's just, it's nasty.
Mm.
uh I think this is from today or yesterday maybe. Yeah, like all of this. Yeah, they were just like, well, you're gonna have to just let it heal. And so I'm like, okay.
Did
And
they
they're
at
like,
least give you anything for it? For the
they
pain or
gave
anything?
me like horse pill ibuprofen.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, I've had that before. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, which is great. And then like this morning I get, or either this morning, yeah, this morning, I go and I check, and I have an email. Am I still sharing? I'm trying to unshare.
I believe so, yeah. Well, no, you're not still sharing the photos. You're
Okay,
still
good.
live, but
Okay,
not
good.
sharing the photos. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I check my email and I have an email from the head of finance at IPG, our distributor, and she's like, okay, you owe $18,000 and it's due the end of the month. And I'm like, how am I supposed to pay $18,000? But like that and I said to her, I'm gonna have to do a fundraiser. Like if you want it, but I'm gonna have to do in increments, right? Like
Mhm.
because I can't even imagine being able to raise $18,000 in one fell swoop. Like
Right.
this is gonna, you know.
Right.
And so she's like, "Well, you haven't paid against." So the way it works is we have um for printing 9 times out of 10, honestly, I just go ahead and pay
Mhm.
for the printing up front. Um, but sometimes there will be periods where we get like larger orders. And when we get those larger orders, depending on what it's for, oftentimes IPG will go ahead and they'll do a print run specifically for it. So like oftentimes when there's like a holiday or a festival, like this weekend is the LA Times Festival of Books, we may get orders from like a retailer that we have a partnership with, and they'll turn around and they'll say, we want 100 books of X, right? And 100 books of Y, or whatever. The thing is though, the way that it works is they can return any books. So if all the books don't sell, then they get returned and they end up in the warehouse, and then I end up being I usually just go ahead and take it. You should see my office. It's like a flaming hot I have tons of books that have been returned. So Peter, do you know that basically we see your pen and a piece of
Yeah, it's
paper?
very artistic.
It is
That's my
very
favorite
Like
artistic.
a
pen.
representation.
It is. It's the persona of Peter versus Peter. I just
It's
didn't
very
know if you
writerly.
knew. Wait, so now Ben's gonna do it too? Oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, he's not getting out of me.
um. So yeah. So it turns out someone, I have no idea who, because she said I hadn't been paying against our print runs, and I'm like, yes, I have. I can prove it. So I showed her screenshots of our business account that shows the payments, right? And she goes, "Oh, well, let me follow up on this." And then so she goes and follows up, and someone had applied my our payments against the wrong account in summary. And she's like, "Oh well, tough shit anyway. We're gonna have it where everything's due by the end of the month." So I was able to not talk her, but she was willing to negotiate so that we'll pay it off in increments. It's about $18,000, but we're gonna have to do some kind of fundraiser to really pay it off. So just as a heads up, that all went down like no joke this morning. The thing with finance went down this morning, where I was like, this isn't really happening, is it? And then and I thought, I really hope she's not serious with the whole like pay everything off by the end of
Yeah.
April.
Yeah, it's only
Like,
2 weeks away, right?
Right. And then and she goes and I think once she realized someone screwed up, then it was like, oh, well, okay, fine. We'll do we'll do, increments, but we, like I need this to zero out. And I'm like, okay, fine. So Joelle and I are gonna talk about what approach we can take for like fundraising. We're gonna do that actually during the LA Times Festival of Books, since we'll be there this weekend. So it's been quite an eventful, let's say almost week, because all this madness started Friday at 9 a.m. Yeah, Friday at 9 a.m. Because my dermatologist is all of like a 10-minute drive from my house. So, and what kills me is someone said to me like, so, were you drinking? I'm like, at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday? What? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? And they were like, I don't know. And they ran blood tests and MRIs and CAT scans and you name it. And everything came up clear. So I have to go see my doctor tomorrow, my primary. And if she clears me, then I get my driver's license back. But by state law, like they had to take my license away, which is fine, mind you. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I hurts to drive at this point.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like honestly, any kind of I wake up and I'm like, ow. It is not. Laughing is not. Yeah. This has been quite because the rope burn. So yeah, any kind of movement. But yeah, this is not fun. I'm not enjoying this. Ow. And in the meantime, Ben and Peter, I sent you guys, we got the official invite to go to IPG's the in-person sales conference in July. So if you guys want to represent your imprints or do any kind of presentation to the sales team, you're welcome to join. Or even if you just want to attend, right? So that you get to see what kind of questions we get. Then that, then you're more than welcome to. So, but you just let me know and then I can give them a heads up. It'll be more than just me. So that's all. But so how are you guys? Ow, what are you up to?
Let's see, I got a novel that is wrapping up and just about ready for production. And then another one, the girl of the cave is coming up next.
Oh, that sounds like
but
fun.
look at me! I've got the Blue Banner headline still showing, Lisa.
Yeah, I see it.
That doesn't make any.
That's from Monday when we did the interview.
But that's not the one I displayed. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Let me see if I.
Well, while it's there. Oh,
all right, now. Okay, there it goes. All right.
There we go.
Oh, I was ready to plug the book. While it's there.
Well, now. Oh, I can show it again. Well, yeah. Tell them about our interview for Along Highway
on Monday
90.
we interviewed the author, and this time I was the author.
You. Ow.
and we couldn't decide which one to talk about, the Recon Trilogy +1 or Down Along Highway 90. And so we talked about them both.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a good half-hour discussion that went 45 minutes.
Ow.
That shouldn't surprise anyone. But
well, that's true.
Down Along Highway 90 is coming out on April 28th. which you can pre-order now. 100,000 copies sold starts with you.
Yeah.
So get those
Well,
orders in.
I love it.
I I think that's fair. Ow. This sucks. Oh, God. Ow. I'm just pulling up the link for it. So
And if you're in Scottsdale on May
and
7th,
actually
yeah, Scottsdale on May 7th, I'll be reading with the issued journal at the Poison Pen in Scottsdale, Arizona. I have two
Yeah.
small poems in there, and I'm going to Scottsdale to read them.
Hell
So be
yeah.
there.
Nice.
Dang damn it.
Yeah, and the Poison Pen in Scottsdale, they've got a pretty consistent program of readings. I didn't know it till I didn't pay any attention till it was me.
That's just wrong.
Well,
Oh my.
it's just right next door in Scottsdale, so which
Mhm.
is only 7 hours away.
That's not awful. I mean,
No,
it's not
well,
fabulous, but it's not awful
Yeah,
either.
it's an hour flight, so
Oh,
now
okay.
that I don't have to
Looks
stand in
like
the TSA line so long.
Now that it's you, you'll actually go. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Ow.
Yes.
I'm just like, and we finally have a writer's coffee house that's going to be on the second Sunday of every month, and from noon to 3. And I'm just looking up the link to it. All we ask is that if you are an author and you're attending it, if you could just buy, like, get a coffee or a tea or something like that as some kind of snack, in respect for the our hosts, the Village Well Books and Coffee in Century City, and I'm putting a link to the webpage that promotes that they're hosting us. So honestly, I'm really excited about this. I've been trying to find a place to host us for about going on 9 years. Because so many places have either gone out of business or they just don't host events like this anymore. That it took that long to find a place to host us. So really looking forward to it. If you're in the Los Angeles area, the Century City area, please come out. It's completely it's free other than getting a cup of coffee or a latte or what have you. Would absolutely love to see you. So yeah, that's the bigger stuff, I guess. And Ben, if you could put in the chat a link to your signing of
Reading?
Highway 90. Yeah, your reading.
It's the reading is just a couple of poems that have been picked up by a journal.
Oh, okay. All right.
But actually, if we can make it happen, I can take some books with me.
Yeah, why don't we talk about this afterwards?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I have any. I might. If I do, I can ship them to you.
Okay.
And then you can use them.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Peter, what have you been up to?
Oh, good.
No good.
Ow.
I'm swimming through pages and pages and pages of edits that should not be happening, but are. I was recently reminded of a book that I had put next to me waiting to be finished with book number 1, and book number 2's author said, "What's going on with my book?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I totally forgot about this." So I am double
Aw.
stacked. I am mimicking Ben, who edits 15 novels at a time. And I'm on book 2 here. It's like, oh my god, I'm just rushing through them, and I'm just swimming to catch up, basically.
Got it.
And I want to go through the submissions that I was just sent, plus the Trompe l'oeil submissions, of which last night I saw there were about 45. There were a couple of them that look really good, so I want to move forward with those. Curtis's books are finally put to bed. Evangeline has both of them, so I'm happy with that. And things are moving forward, so things are good.
Excellent.
We actually went to see a show up in what?
I was just gonna say, if anybody has ideas for fundraising, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm taking suggestions. So that's all. Go ahead. So you saw a show.
We saw a show, and for the first time in my life, I sat through 2.5 hours of theater and didn't understand a single damn thing that was happening.
Really?
It was so poorly directed. It was The Music Man, and I just had no idea what was going on with the plot. It just made no sense whatsoever. But
Okay.
we made a good weekend out of it.
What did Kath say? Did she also say it didn't make any damn sense, or?
She didn't like it very much either. I mean, it just didn't really hit. Didn't hit the audience. I mean, people were happy, but the music was too loud, and it wasn't even an orchestra. It's just one guy with an electronic synthesizer going on back there with a computer in the orchestra pit, and you can see the huge black maw of the orchestra without anybody sitting in there doing this.
That doesn't make any sense.
So it's like,
it's The Music Man. Like, he's supposed to lead a group of individuals. That's the point.
Exactly. I know. They completely missed the mark.
That's so weird.
So,
oh my. Oh. Did you give them feedback?
No.
No.
I used to be a theater artist. I was a thespian in college. And I'm like, it's just not worth it. I mean, they're just in their own world, happily so. Let them be who they are. But as long as they get funding and put shows on with students and actors and give artists money to perform, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to think twice before we go back to that theater, especially for a musical.
Got it. Oh, boy. Cecilia, how about you? What are you up to?
Well, I'm going to go to the Independent Book Publishers Association Hoop-de-Doo in Portland. So I was asked, I'm a member of the Editorial Freelancers Association, and they asked me if I would accept a free ticket to go, since I'm kind of in the area, on a day. And when I told them that I judged the contest, they said, okay, we'll make it that Friday, because that's when the award ceremony is. So I'm going to be going to the award ceremony to see who the winners are going to be. And I'll also get, I guess, a dinner. Nate will be with me, so he'll get to go as well. And then I'll also get to go to some of the sessions during the day. So I was thinking, your fundraiser, do you sell merch on your website? Like, I would get a t-shirt, like something to wear, Running Wild Press t-shirt. If you have that on your website, or if you can make
we
one.
don't right now, but we can do that. We could actually, to your point, maybe we should have like some t-shirts for all 4 imprints.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd buy all of them. I'd wear them every day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, just editing a lot of Running Wild Press books. I've got 5 in play. They're still in play. Many of them, I'm like, we're almost done, and then they're not. So
yeah,
we're still editing. And then I signed on again to edit and select finalists for the next Flash Fiction magazine contest, and that started today. So I'm a repeat offender judge.
Oh, I'm also judging the Novel Beginnings contest for pen writers. So I've gone through, I think, 2 so far, and it's so weird. I know I've read some of these before. Like, I know I've seen these, like, it's not the first time I've ever seen them before. So, which is very weird. Ow. To have that kind of deja vu where it's just like, oh, okay. Like, I know what's going to happen next. And it's not because it's not that it's a cliche. It's that I've read this before. Neato. So, oh, and I handed my draft of War Dogs to my key readers, and one of them has already come back and he's like, okay, I'm telling you right now, here's some major things you effed up. And I'm like, sweet, that's why you're one of the key readers, because I need that, like I need someone to flag me on, like, who's that, really detail oriented, to flag those kinds of weird goof ups, so but yeah,
appreciate that too.
I know he will. Well, hopefully, I think in theory, I'll get feedback from my readers by all of them by the end of this month. So, like, give me at least a week to address them, and then whoever that editor might be. Ow. At least it doesn't hurt as bad as it used to. Before, it was like I would breathe in slightly and it was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So we're past that, thankfully. But the bruises are turning, when they're old bruises and they turn that like yellowy gray.
I've got one. I don't even know how I got it, but I've got one of those.
Really?
And then when I touch it, I'm like, oh, it's the worst.
Right?
And then, it stings so bad. And then I'm like, I don't even know how I got this. I must have done it in my sleep. Maybe I hit, I don't know.
You're like,
I hit Nate. He has a matching one on his forehead. No, I'm just kidding. Like, how did we get these?
Ow. That's awesome. Ow. They're like, in the emergency room, they're like, you hit your noggin, right? And I'm like, well, I do now. And you've proven that I injured myself, because holy shit, that hurt.
Don't you hate it when they're like, they touch it? Like I just went through physical therapy. I'm like, yes, I have a very, very tender spot on my Achilles tendon. They just grab it. And I'm like, yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I told you that hurts. Please stop. And they're like, no, we have to massage it. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Don't touch it.
They're like, well, you didn't crack your skull. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's a good thing, but you can stop touching it now.
Stop. And then they just look at you and say, see, it's not healed.
Right?
Like, I knew it.
Ow. Yeah, you didn't have to prove it for me. Thanks. And then, like, it was like, here, can you pick this up? And I'm like, I can barely lift my arm. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, well, if you're going to do it right. Ow. What's like the worst accident you've ever had? And do you remember what happened?
Gosh.
I was told what happened.
Oh, really?
I don't remember a single thing. Nope. I was in grammar school, I think, and I was riding to a BMX tryout. So I'm riding along in my helmet, because I had to have the helmet. It was strapped to my handlebars. Because that's where a helmet should be while you're riding on a BMX bike.
Ow.
Apparently, I decided to do a BMX move right over a mud puddle. And apparently the bike went like this, my head went like this, and the pavement said, "That's as far as you're going."
Wow.
Put me in the hospital for about a month and a half.
Really?
Yeah. I had to
Holy
learn how
shit.
to walk again. I had to learn how to just basically do everything. It just messed me
Wow.
up too. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, here's a lift. So you can get a lift home. Oh God.
Yep. That was a bad couple of weeks.
That sounds like it.
Wow.
Yep. But the helmet was fine. The helmet was unscathed.
It worked as designed.
Yeah.
Oh
It was
my.
in the right place.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I wasn't in a serious car accident, but I was a passenger when my mother got into a car accident. And we had just gotten done with a hair salon. I was in junior high. No, I was in middle school. We were like, I was probably 12. Like, I already felt weird and exposed to the world. Like, when you're that age, you kind of just walk around like this, like, please don't look at me. And we went to the hair salon and we hated the way our hair looked. Like, whenever we went to this hair salon, we hated the way they styled it, but they cut it really well. If you could just get home without anybody seeing you, wash your hair and dry it, it's great. But we had just come from the salon and we were in this car accident. And our hair is like everywhere. Like, it's just, it was like really, really ugly hair. And the newspaper was there because it was a really small town. And
oh my.
Pictures. It was basically a fender bender. But the wife of one of the police officers on duty who saw it was in the other car and she was pregnant. So it was a big deal, a big hoop-de-doo or whatever. But my mom went to court and contested it and she was not at fault. But there were still pictures of us with our hair in the newspaper. Because, I mean, in a small town, that was news. Someone hit the sheriff deputy's car. It was my mom after a day at the hair salon. But but no, she was not at fault. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And she won the court case.
Well, wow. Good for her.
Yeah.
All I remember is,
no one was hurt
big
by the
yellow
way, either. Gosh, I should have said
well,
that. I was worried about our hair.
Well, you said it was a fender bender.
Yeah.
You said it was a fender bender. That counts.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm assuming in a fender bender, no one's injured. So, ow.
I mean, she was pregnant, but nothing happened. So she didn't go into labor or anything. So, yeah.
You know, you're going to have to come back with photos, right?
I don't know. I think we destroyed them. And those were the days of the newspaper. Now, somebody probably has them on microfiche somewhere, but I don't need to do that kind of research.
Why not?
I don't need
No,
we don't. I'm not even sure if that newspaper is still in business anymore either. But yeah.
Well, in such a small town, it would be surprising if they were. But
yeah, because I think it grew since we left. So might not be there anymore. Might be a data center. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, totally. How about you, Ben? What's like the worst accident you've ever had?
Well, I came up when there were no bicycle helmets. There were no seat belts.
Yep.
So we were protected in the car when we got close to hitting anything. We had
your arm out.
my mother's arm holding you in place.
Yeah.
So you didn't go anywhere.
Remember those days?
Yeah. Yeah. But Oh, I guess that maybe one of the closest bad ones I came to was in a 1960 Ford Falcon when we were going down the highway and the door came open.
Whoops.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I was pretty quick to jump over from where it opened over into my sister's lap and on the other side of the car.
But Timmy was gone already, right? Timmy
Yeah.
was out the door.
So the survival instinct. But no, we had I don't know how we avoided it, because like I said, we didn't have bicycle helmets, but we did have wood that you could prop up on the trash can and ride your bicycle over it as a ramp.
I remember those days.
Yeah. And then once you got over it, you had to be going fast enough. And when you figured out you could go fast enough to jump over 3 more trash cans, you lined them up, of course. And then you tried it. But no hospital visits, Peter. I can't compete.
Yeah, I haven't had a car accident hospital visit that I remember. I don't know. There haven't been any.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
The number, like it was like they had one social worker come through like, okay, are you suicidal? I'm like, no. And they're like, then another, like social worker come by. Okay. What do you remember? What day is it? I'm like, so I looked at the wall clock. I'm like, it's, Friday. What day is it supposed to be? Like all kinds of weird shit. Like, I'm just like, huh? What would I do? Like, it's like, why did you run into the bus? I'm like, I ran into a bus? Oh my God. And they're like, why did you do it? I'm like, I don't know. Why would I do that? That's crazy. It's like, what is the last thing you remember? I'm like, I was going to the dermatologist and I made a left. They're like, are you sure you were making a left? I'm like, yeah.
That's surreal. That is absolutely scary.
Right?
I mean, the questions afterwards are just.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just so glad. I went back and reread the police report like 4 times to see, like, thank God no one was injured except, well, me. Ow. Like everyone else, it seems, is fine. So that was a hefty yellow school bus. Ow. But oh my gosh, yeah. Well, it gives me an excuse to buy an SUV, I guess. So we'll see.
So you can compete.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because that's where my priority always is. Dang it! How can I compete with the yellow school bus? Oh, and my poor husband is like, I should have been there. I thought, what would you have done? Like, oh look, yellow school bus. Like, what do you think would have happened? Oh well. But they're like, you're at fault. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thankful nobody got hurt. Well, again, other than me, but. Oh my. Yeah. Anyway. So this weekend we're gonna have a slew of book signings at the LA Times Book Festival. You should see on social media there's like little ads about it that are going out there, but we're at the WPN booth number 304 both Saturday and Sunday all day. So honestly just come by and say hi. It looks like it's going to be a really cool book festival this year. It looks like they've got a lot of really cool panels and presentations and stuff. So definitely come check it out. If you come on, let me look at this. Usually, excuse me, both Saturday and of course this is now not gonna load because hey, why would it actually work? Oh gosh. Saturday, there's presentations from basically 10 a.m. until and this is all over the USC campus, which is down the road from me. But they have presentations all day Saturday until almost 6 o'clock. So if you actually come by our booth close to the closing time, hey, maybe we can go hang out, like go grab, you know, a drink or an appetizer or something. Same thing on Sunday. On Sunday, we'll be there again. Well, actually, I'm probably going to be there starting around 9 o'clock, something like that, 9 a.m. But I'll be at the booth the whole dang day until on Sunday, almost 5 o'clock. And again, you know, I know there's probably going to be a couple of us who are going to go out and hit up some, like, you know, local diner or something just to hang out and not have to be doing labor intensive work, which I'm sure won't happen, but hey. But yeah, come and hang out with us and just say hi. The last thing I heard, we were entertaining, so you may have a good time. Just saying hola. It's all good. So because honestly, that's what we did last year when we went to the LA Times Festival of Books. We went all day long, Saturday and Sunday, and then both days we just went and, you know, someplace local and hung out for a little bit. So you are more than welcome to join us in our festivities, I guess you could say. So now, is there anything you guys, like, in this last week, anything that you feel like is a lesson that or something that's come up that you think people might value that we could share?
I think we could talk about authors actually listening to their editors.
Why would they do that?
Well, because we know a thing or two, because we've done this a time or two. I'm sure one of us here has a very specific story to tell about an author who refused to listen to anything she or they recommended. And I, for one, I mean, I've read the manuscript. I read it again. I read my notes again. I'm like, I stand by what I said the first time. Is if you're going to do something, know what you're doing to do it right. If you don't know what you're doing, listen to your editor so that it can either guide you in a direction that is correct and readable for readers, or to coach you in a way that what you're doing is the way you want it to be. I mean, does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Go.
Cecilia might.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying really hard to make sure that when you put your manuscript out there, that readers will be able to enjoy it fully, right? Without things in the way that might be distracting. And when we're constantly calling out something from a reader's perspective, even if you believe you have an answer for it and an explanation for it, it's still there. And it needs to be addressed in some way. You don't necessarily have to take my suggestion as is, right? I mean, you can, but you do need to do something about the problem that's underlying. You know, like if I write a suggestion, like here's one way to fix this problem, you can say, I've got another idea, but the problem still has to be addressed. So yeah, so if it comes up a lot, it probably is something to address from a reader's perspective.
That's a good thing to remind the author that you're looking at it through a reader's eyes. And the last thing you want to have happen is to make the reader mad and put the book down and then blog about how bad it was. And so the input is telling you to polish it, and that's good input to listen to. Because we're not here to criticize, we're here to polish. And make suggestions that will polish it and make it better, make it stronger, and make it connect better to that reader.
Yeah, I mean, to Ben's point, understand we're picking the stories because we enjoyed them.
Yeah,
right?
We like them. We want to champion this piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, think of it as us mentoring the story. Right. I mean, you know, we've been around a while. From what we've heard, we've got good taste. So, you know, if we picked your book and we come back with some questions or suggestions, then understand, you know, we're asking the questions because we know that this could, you know, maybe it's here. It could be like here, you know, we're trying to make sure that you're making it the absolute best piece that it can possibly be. You know, I know at least like, especially if there's something, to Cecilia's point, that it's thematic, right? Like there's a repeated, I don't want to call it issue, but it could be strengthened in a specific way. Oftentimes I'll actually set up time with the author and ask him, like, what was your intention here? So that I can understand, so that the feedback I give is aligned with what your intention is. And also, it's a great way for me to find out if you don't have any intention, right? Like if it was purely, you were like, just, you were playing and you liked how it came out. Well, that's great. Well, then if I'm asking about it, then most likely it probably isn't working. And we want to make it work. Right.
And if there is another intention in there, it may mean that the work needs to be completely redone to make that intention come alive. So those are some of the options. You know, it might be a quick fix from your editor's perspective, but if you really want it to be something else, then it's going to take much more. It's going to take much longer and much more work to make it what you think it needs to be. So yeah.
And it's got to be consistent, and it can't be a surprise when it deviates from the technique and the pattern it was using. I actually had that conversation last week with the author of the Women's Knitting and Sci-Fi Club. They had made it to Las Vegas at the science fiction convention, and the narrator was describing the scene, and there were women coming by dressed as in the Handmaid's Tale, not costumes, but uniforms.
Yeah.
And he said they had on those head things. and
those head things.
I said, well, like the bonnets or the head coverings. And I said, well, let's call them what they are, like a head covering. And he wrote back, he pushed back and said, well, it's funnier though if you don't really know what they're called. And I said, well, you know, I can see where you're going with it, but the narrator hasn't been funny the whole time, you know, and now you're trying to make the narrator funny, and it's not, the narrator's not funny. It doesn't need to be funny. The narrator's voice needs to be consistent. Yeah. And he said, oh yeah, but it was funny to just call them head things.
It's funny.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with you. I'll give you that, but let's change it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Ow.
And just that consistency of the voice, whether it's your character or not, because your narrator is a character, but it shouldn't be the character.
Mm-hmm.
And to let the characters carry the story, or what are they doing? If your narrator is the stand-up comedian with all the attention,
you don't need the character.
you don't need the character.
Right.
Hey, there I was.
Well, and if that's the technique you're using, back to Ben's first point, you have to be consistent with it, because you can have the narrator be the primary character. Like, there is nothing wrong with that. But again, you have to be consistent with what technique you're using, and that, if that's the primary character, then it's the primary character, and you make that clear, right? You don't all of a sudden decide 2/3 of the way through, oh, you know what? Psst, he's the protagonist. Screw it. We're just going to do it this way. Like, that's all you're going to do is tick off your readers, and I mean, you may think it's funny, but your readers are probably not going to appreciate it whatsoever.
One of the worst things you could do as a writer is to pull your readers out of the story and make them think about what just happened or what they just read, because you want to keep them glued and fixated in the story. They go, why is all of a sudden the narrator being funny? That doesn't make sense. Now they're in their living room or in bed or whatever like that. In the real world, it's like, now they have to get back to work to get back to the story.
Yeah.
Or all of a sudden they're in somebody else's head. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, and you can switch, points of view, but if you do it, it's got to be, again, back to the consistency. Yeah.
To be consistent. So either you are an omniscient narrator or you're not, because it's just not, I mean, if you're starting with one point of view all the way through, and then the next chapter is somebody else's point of view all the way through, and then all of a sudden we're sprinkling other things in there, it's like, wait, where am I? When you start to sprinkle other things in.
And why am I, right? If you're doing it just because you're like, but I like this better, like, so what? I like, that's not, if you're taking the reader out of the story, then you're actually doing the opposite of what you're intending on doing, right? You're not having them in having total buy-in to stay within that story, right? Whether you like it or not, you just took them out. So,
And when that voice changes from the language that it's using, or the insights that it has, in that instance with the head things, they're wearing those head things.
Right.
It doesn't come across as funny. It comes across as the author was too lazy to look it up.
Yeah, that's exactly how it comes across.
That's even worse.
Yeah, that is true.
And there was another instance where the narration got too. It tried to be too scientific or too technical. And I said, this is not the voice you're using. Go ahead and use the vernacular that you're using as the narration, but don't make it so technical, because it hasn't been technical. Why are you changing? What happened? What did I miss? As the reader, what did I miss? I got to go back and read the whole thing over again, and not didn't miss anything. You just messed it up. That's what happened.
If you're going to do that, you need to put seeds in so that when the reader gets there, it makes sense.
That's it. Yeah.
You've always been analytical and scientific up to that point. So now when they make a big admission, now well, of course, he's been doing that all along. It's normal.
Yeah.
And it can't just be like open.
Keep talking, I mean, come on.
And don't just do it because you're like, oh, I've never written an omniscient narrator before. I'm suddenly going to start doing it. If it doesn't actually add anything to the story, you're actually taking away to the fabulous. You're taking away from the story. Like I'm all for free writing, right? I mean, you can happen upon some really cool stuff, right? Especially when you're kind of exploring characters and the characterizations. But if you just do something, 1 minute Joe is a blonde and the next minute he is of Indian descent and, speaks Taiwanese.
You read my first book.
Ow.
It was literally stuff like that. This name is Frank. No, it's Mike this time. It was bad. I miss that kind of writing.
I mean,
kind of
you enjoy.
Just
oh yeah.
throw it on the page and see what happens, and then fix it later. Like now, it's like you're thinking all the time, thinking too much. So it's like just gotta push on through.
Yeah.
But I miss free writing.
And
well, you can still free write. Go ahead. Sorry.
In the same novel, there are of course the women's knitting and sci-fi club, they get together and they knit and they write science fiction.
Okay.
And so in the novel itself, he has excerpts from their book, and it's well done because it gives the reader glimpses into who wrote that section, which of the women wrote that section, and said, well, this is why they wrote it that way. So it gives those clues about the personalities of the characters. But then there was one point where it just wasn't needed, and I gave the feedback to the author. I know where you're going here. You've got this key, the crates full of pillows, and that's one of the characters. They love pillows, so you're going to have a crate full of pillows. But you've got it way too long to make that point. And he said, "Yeah, you're right. I just got carried away with writing the science fiction. I think I'd be a good science fiction writer." Because especially when it's like a real silly kind of science fiction, I kind of got carried away and was writing the whole book for him. Okay, let's not do that. And so it's been a kind of an eye opener for the author too. He said, "Yeah, I've always thought about writing science fiction. Maybe I should just get rid of the women's knitting and just do the science fiction. Let's do this first."
Yeah.
Well, so are you happy though with where it has gone?
Oh yeah. Very open to being edited, and all the suggestions, and that was the only structural issue. I told her there's no structural issue until we get there, and it drags because you're too much into the other book, and you've used the technique, but now you're using it too much. It's too long, and it's too much of the other world. So you've got to bring it back to make it connect to the real characters. And he was very open to it. He said, "Yeah, okay." Which is good, maybe different from Peter Cecilia's week, but that's okay. My week's coming, I'm sure.
And if you have been edited and you've agreed on all the edits and you've agreed that it's final, don't come back weeks later or months later and say, "Oh wait, by the way, now I want to add this, and this, and I want to change all this." That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Once, this is not, if you want to self-publish, you are more than welcome to self-publish. That this is not, if you have agreement from your editor, that does not mean that you're now going to keep coming back and wanting to make changes. You've got to come to. That's one thing that is happening a lot lately, is that we're getting authors who, and I love you guys and I respect you, but please don't then all of a sudden decide, "Oh yeah, by the way, I want to completely rewrite X." We give you an opportunity to review the fully formatted versions. We give you an opportunity to provide the feedback. Now, if that wasn't done by whoever did the formatting, then, you know, then they effed up and it's got to get fixed. Agreed. But don't turn around and say, oh, you know what? I previously did a short story collection and now I want to do a memoir. No, no, no. That is not how
Yeah.
that is not how this works. So
that's the last guidance I'll give to an author as we get close. I'll say we're looking good, but I'm not satisfied until you are satisfied. So if you want to hang on to it, we can go through it again and continue the conversations, because I want you to be satisfied. It's not about me. And
right.
Once they say, yeah, well, I'm satisfied, let's send it to production, that kind of releases those kind of changes out of their hands. Now, in the galleys, if you see something that's not spelled right, a typo, whatever, we can change those.
Yeah.
We can catch those, but we're not going to do any structural changes in the galley and still have Kimberly in production talk to us.
Well, no, that's accurate.
No.
I'll suddenly start getting emails going,
Yeah.
Lisa, am I supposed to respond to this? No, you're not.
Yeah.
So with that, wow, we're at time. So as always, guys, complete and utter pleasure. For anyone who is watching, I've put into the chat a link to the LA Times events Festival of Books, the overall schedule over Saturday and Sunday. Please come out. It's again, it's free to wander around. There looks like there's a lot of really fantastic vendors that are going to be there, including us. So come join us. Booth number 304, the WPN booth, and looking forward to seeing you there. Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.